What are the blue webs and what are the green dots in this photo? I'm curious to find out, and I'm going to speak to the person who created the photo. I look at this photo and I am amazed by it, but I have no idea what this is. What are we looking at here?
Okay, so that's an image of the Ohm sponge. So you're looking at an SEM image, which is on the micro scale. So we're thinking about the width of a human hair. So at a bulk scale, a sponge is an everyday material. It's like a solid. It seems pretty robust. And then when you go and take a look at it at the micro scale, you can see that it's really made up of all these strands, which are separated by huge differences. It's very porous material. We calculate the porosity of these sorts of materials. It's almost at least 97% air usually in most cases, and the material looks very different on the micro scale. One other thing you might be curious is, why is it blue and green? So when you take the image in the SEM, it's a black and white image that shows contrast, and then you can modify the contrast to show something that would be black otherwise to make it blue, and something that's white otherwise make it green. So I applied the color afterwards to highlight the nanomaterials, but that's not intrinsic to the SEM process. The matrix I submitted to a Science and Society contest at Northwestern, and I won 4th place there. That was a pretty cool competition because part of being involved was at Evanston High School. They put the images up there, and then we got to go and talk to some of the science students there about our image, and also some of the art students. So the art students used our image, so my image of the Ohm sponge, to create their own artwork and kind of interpret it. And they are really talented. It was really cool to see all the different things they did, including sculptures, paintings, drawings. It was really very cool.
This is amazing. So why are you creating this material? What is the purpose of the sponge? What can it help with?
So the purpose of creating this material is in mind thinking about oil spills and oil cleanup. So we've heard about the BP oil spill and other big oil spills throughout history, but they're actually very small oil spills that happen nearly every day that are smaller scale, not something we know about. And of course, this is an economic loss, an environmental problem, among other things. And the main methods that people currently use to clean up oil are somewhat lacking. So there's sort of the traditional skimmer and boom method, which only works in some environments. People spray dispersants, which breaks up the chemicals so they sink to the bottom, but that doesn't necessarily remove the contaminated oil and it's not recovered. And same thing with in situ burning, where you're just burning the oil. That releases toxic chemicals into the air and you're not recovering the oil. And then I guess the last method that people tend to use is something like a sorbent, so like a diaper that absorbs the oil, but then it can't be reused and you're not getting the oil back. We were working on building a material that could selectively absorb oil, but also recover it, so the oil can be reused. And then also with the idea that the material itself can be reused for multiple cycles. So you're making something that's not going to create as much waste and that gets the oil back so it can be reused.